That's okay, don't do much. It is already late, we are late. Okay. ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति कृष्णे स्थिता हि या सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। Dear friends, we are meeting again. This class is arranged specially for the devotees in the New York area, and I am very happy to meet you all. And as has been suggested, I am to speak about how to develop devotion. It is something that we need. Bhakti ki kore jibane hoy. So I can see quite a few nice, very familiar names, and my salutations to you all. So it is. Let us discuss this, because this is very important. It is without bhakti we cannot develop in spiritual life. Secondly, Sri Ramakrishna said that there are other ways of approaching our goal, our God. But still, the most efficient for us, most efficient, as he mentioned, most efficient for the Kali Yuga, this particular age where people do not have that much patience to practice, say, like Raj Yoga. They do not have the patience and the physical strength also to hold on to a lot of this tapasya. Also, their power of discernment is not so strong, and therefore the best course, or for many of us the only course, is to develop devotion to God. And it has been described as the easiest path. সবচেয়ে সহজ মার্গ হলো এটা ভক্তির মার্গ। তবে ভক্তি সহজে হয় না, এই মুশকিল হয় যে এটা আমাদের মন এদিক ওদিক যায়, আর তারপর মনে হয় যে ভক্তি হবেই বা কি করে জীবনে। হ্যাঁ, our minds keep on wandering in all directions, and therefore loving God becomes a challenge actually. As such, if you ask what is bhakti, then the answer given by the sages is that, well, you already know what is bhakti, because bhakti is love. যেমন এটা যে জিনিসটা আমরা ব্যবহার করছি সব সময়, যেটা আমাদের কাছেই রয়েছে আমরা জানি, so those things which are which belong to us, which we use every day, we know what it is. If you have, say, just an example, a pet dog, then do you ask the question, what is a dog? Well, what you have, that gets called as dog. You already have it. Absolutely no confusion about that. So exactly like that, bhakti is with us. আমাদের ভক্তি মানে কি, যে ভগবানের প্রতি ভালোবাসা। ভালোবাসা আমাদের রয়েছে, ওটা আমাদের কাছে রয়েছেই, ওটা শুধু ভগবানকে দিতে হবে। আর ওটাই তারপর ভক্তি হয়ে যায়। আমাদের সমস্যা এখানেই হলো যে ভালোবাসা আমরা বুঝি, আমরা ফিল করি, all that love which we feel, that gets given to those who are not worthy candidate of that love. The only worthy candidate for the love is God, who is within each of us. And therefore, we actually know what is bhakti. Especially you are all bhaktas, devotees. And that is why you are listening to this talk. That is why you have come to Sri Ramakrishna, you have taken initiation, you have been following with that earnestness the path, and so you have that bhakti already there. Now, only thing is that it has to be refined, it is to be properly directed. That is the whole idea. It is like suppose you have food. Mm. Now I am giving a very trivial example. Now you have to put the food in the proper place. If you put it in the nose or in the ear or in the eye, no use. Uh, you have to, food you have, but you have to put it right in the mouth, then it will serve its purpose. তখনই তো এই যে খাওয়া যেটা আমাদের কাছে রয়েছে ওটা কাজে লাগবে। এই চোখের উপর রাখলে এটা চোখ শুধু জ্বালা করবে, কানে রেখে দিলে আর আমাদের কান নষ্ট হয়ে যাবে, কারণ ওইসব ওটার জন্য নেই। এই food is to be put in mouth and not in eyes or nose or ears. So similarly, the love that we all have in our hearts, we know what love is. That love is to be given in the right proper place. What if suppose somebody is putting food on the eye? Hey, you will say, you fool. No, I don't have food. You have food, you see, but put it in the right place. So, না হলে কি বোকা আর কি? You are a fool if you are putting the food in the ears or eyes. It is useless. So exactly like that, the love scattered to all those unworthy things, people or some such, and then out of our various desires to get something out of it, then what happens is it does not find the fruition. So bhakti is as such very simple thing. We have it. All that means the main material we have, that the love. And that love is to be offered to the worthiest, or rather, let us put it, the only worthy recipient of it, the God, who is in every single heart. So, that is what inspires love. So, we have to feel that God within and then offer the love there. So, today we shall be seeing that what are the means to do that. And we have to follow the proper means. And we shall read a little bit from one of the great texts on bhakti. Most of you already, I am sure, have read or heard about it. Many of you might have heard many wonderful lectures by different saints and scholars on it. This is Narada Bhakti Sutra, aphorisms of Narada on Bhakti. And I am taking up a particular section of it where it discusses the means. Because you already are devotees, I don't need to tell you right from the philosophy of bhakti and all that. You already know that this book gives all that those other things as well. But today, in a limited time, আমাদের কাছে বেশি সময় নেই। তো আমরা এই শুধু কি করে এই ভক্তি বাড়াতে হবে, হাউ টু ইনক্রিজ দি লাভ, ওটা কেমন ডাইরেক্ট করতে হবে, কেমন ওটা নার্চার করতে হবে, বাড়াতে হবে। আছে কিন্তু বাড়াতে লাগবে। একটুখানি আছে তাতে কিছু হবে না, ওটা বাড়াতে হবে। So to enhance it, to nurture it, and to properly preserve it, we need to know how that can be done. And this is where Narada's some aphorisms, they become very useful. You can see similar ideas presented by Swami Vivekananda in that celebrated great book, Bhakti Yoga. But today we shall take up mainly these Narada's wonderful aphorisms on this issue. So, uh, first is, he says, Tasyaha sadhanani gayanti acharyaha. That many great teachers, acharyaha, not just one, but many great teachers have sung. He uses the word gayanti. Uh, it is not the word that they have told, they have actually sung. Means there is that happiness associated with it. There is that sense of that musicality is there, a dearness is there, that we all have liking, attraction towards music. So this is devotion, so that part is also conveyed here, that these teachers, out of love that they have kind of, musically in their singing, they have presented sadhanani tasyaha. Tasyaha means of bhakti, of devotion. The means have been sung by the great teachers, acharyaha, and many of them. So let us look at some of them. And first thing that is mentioned here is tattu vishayatyagat sangatyagat. Tat means that devotion you can develop. How? Vishayatyagat, sangatyagat. And then there is the word tu, means but. But one has to develop this, that Vishayatyaga, Sangatyaga, that pushing aside the objects of our attraction or desires. Do not get into that, because they are the traps that will catch you, and then devotion will not get practiced. You have to, as I mentioned, if you get habituated to put the food in the ear, now that becomes, if that becomes a habit, then it is first you have to stop putting the food in the wrong place to be able to put it in the right place. Don't put it there. এই কানের মধ্যে কেন ঢোকাচ্ছ এই খাওয়া ওটা ওই জায়গা নেই। এই এই সব খাওয়া তো খুব ভালো আছে, তবে ওখানে চোখে এইসব জায়গায় ঢোকাবে না, ওখানে দিবে না, দিবে মুখের মধ্যে। তো ফার্স্ট থিং ইজ স্টপ विषय त्यागात sangat tyagacha. So give up these attractions. They naturally pull us. That is why this is a practice that one has to do. Mm. That is why it is called sadhana. Means it needs to be practiced, friends. হুম, এটা অভ্যাস করতে 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 জীবনে আসে। এমন নয় যে আপনা আপনি হবে। We are very, at times, very callous people. The reason that we do not progress in spiritual life is that we do not take up the matter as something that is to be done now. It is to be done in this way, practice. Uh, and then first stop the things that we are habituated to do. We are habituated to do wrong things. Hmm. Now learn to stop it. Don't do it. Vishaya tyagat. There is, one gets afflicted by all sorts of wrong attractions in life. Why am I saying wrong? Because while they attract me at one point, I do not get the happiness that I was looking for through that attraction. In fact, what happens is it results in misery, and therefore it is important that we do not get into that. And it looks as if it is attractive. And then what happens, even if we know that it doesn't give us happiness, তাতে কোনো আনন্দ পাওয়া যাবে না, এটা জেনে থাকলেও কি হয়, মুশকিল সমস্যা এমন হয়ে যায় যে অভ্যাস হয়ে যায়, অ্যাডিকশন। তো ওই সমস্যার জন্য, বিকজ অফ দ্যাট অ্যাডিকশন, ইভেন দো we know that it is not conducive to our good, we cannot stop. It is our mind. So it needs practice. Say no, no, vishaya tyagat sanga tyagacha. Sangha means association. It is a bit subtle feeling. Mm. One may not feel any sort of, passion or tremendous attraction. Only the association, sangha, is there. Mm. What happens is, in a way that we do not even know, it starts capturing our mind, puts a bondage on it, just because of association. So one has to stop that assiduously. With efforts, one has to put in these efforts, friends. If we want to develop bhakti, and I tell you, you are devotees, you definitely want devotion to come in your life. So one has to do some little bit of practice for that. It is, let us understand this, that it is not difficult. It is certainly not impossible. So many great people have achieved it. And it is not even difficult in the sense that we do many, many more difficult things in life. You can see, it is For example, let me tell you, simple. Uh, most of us, almost all of us here who are listening, uh, they pass their high school exam or on the way to pass their high school exam. I know some children are there. So it is, so they are, is it very difficult? Well, it could be difficult, but not so difficult. It is not impossible at all. All we do it, millions and millions of people do it. And hmm, this sadhana for bhakti is certainly not as difficult as passing the high school exam. Ah, but look at how much efforts we put for passing the high school exam. Ah, we spend how many? About 12 years. Every day we have to spend, say, 6, 7 hours in the school. Mm. Then a few hours studying at home, doing the homework. Ah, and then we have to pay attention to that, not just going to school and sleeping over there. It is, you go to school, pay attention, তাই না? এই স্কুলে গিয়ে ওটা মন দিয়ে শুনতে হবে, শিখতে হবে। তো ওটা তো আমরা করি, we do that. Mm. Similarly, here also we have to put in some efforts. It is যে না আমি স্কুলে যাবই না, হুম, না আমি স্কুলে গিয়েও কিছু পড়বো না, কোনো হোমওয়ার্ক করব না, কোনো শিখবার চেষ্টাই করব না। If I don't want to go to school, I don't want to study, I don't want to do homework, then even that school exam, I will not be able to pass. But we all do that much effort. So you can see, I guarantee you, for practicing bhakti, you have to do a little less effort than that, that will be enough. But you have to do it. Mm, that it is, and as you do it, you will see that force of love will start capturing you. What I am asking, or what the sages are asking, in this particular aphorism, like you have to go to school. Your mind may revolt. There are many children. I was one of them, to be frank. That স্কুলে যেতে খুব একটা ভালো লাগতো না। ওটা যে to go to school was not a very attractive thing. But I have to go. No, I will go and play with other kids, or just rest at home, or go swimming, do other things. No, you have to stop that. Vishayatyagat sangatyagat. Don't do that, because then you will not be going to school. Simple thing. Mm. So if you want to practice devotion, stop going to these things. না হলে যেমন স্কুলে না যাওয়া হবে না, স্কুলের টাইমে আমি আর কোথাও যেতে থাকি, তাহলে আর স্কুলে যাওয়া হবে না। This was found out, that it is uh, one student used to be in our class. What happened? That in the class, he would just come to school, put his bag, and then run away. Play here, there, something, more or less like that Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finch, you must have read all those stories. So, and then how can you learn then? It is not possible to pass the school exam, especially as you go to high school. You have to be more attentive, more focused, less attention in the other things, more attention in learning the school courses. So, this is the first step, that Vishayatyagat Sangatyagat. So, this is a simple practice, friends. Any of us can easily undertake it. Then comes the next aphorism, Avyavritta Bhajanat. And this is the aphorism number 36. And we saw 35th earlier. Now this is 36th. Avyavritta Bhajanat. That keep on, like the same example you can see in the high school you go and then regularly do the studies. Mm. So here to regularly do the practice. Mm. It will come by regular practice because that is how the psychology is. Whatever we regularly do, we get associated with that. And then that becomes our second nature. Every day I am practicing meditation, practicing singing the glories of the Lord, doing worship. Now, what happens? That now becomes my second nature gradually. And what happens then? All that is directed to God, that God starts manifesting in me. Mm, it is already there. Now, since our attention is taken away from the other things and directed to God, and we shall be able to see it. Mm. It is like that. For example, let me tell you that it is in this class, teachers were teaching, and say at that time, uh, I was talking to other uh, little brat like me, and then and the teacher was teaching. uh, so I sat in the class for whatever time. And then how much do you think I would have learned if I am spending time only in all that talking with other little child like me? Nothing. Fortunately, our teachers were so good, they would spot from there that this fellow is not studying, he is having his attention somewhere else. And so would come and give a couple of nice slaps. A very good sound would come under the ears, Phlack! What had you been doing? Why are you coming here? I am going to tell your dad that don't spend money on this fellow. He is. What is this? And then that would uh, gradually wean away the mind from the wrong thing and put it to the right thing. So, friends, it sometimes is painful because the natural attraction is to, to have some chit chatting, some funny things, and then doing all sorts of nonsensical things, right sitting in the class. So, is it really bhajan? Is it really uh, mm, that doing study? No, it is not. So, similarly, many of us, they uh, just, there is the externally speaking, they are doing something devotional. Mm. Like I was going externally, I was going to school, and then if I don't study, and then it will be my that monthly or quarterly report card would show how much I had studied. I would get a nice big blob in that. So then I would get uh, good scolding, additional beating than what the teachers had given at the home. So it is something that happens. Why? Because I go to school, I go to mandir, temple, I go to church, I sit in the prayers. Where was the mind, dear? Hmm? That is the important thing. So, learning to keep the mind, winning it away from the wrong things, and then putting it in the right thing, the God, the source of all love, putting it there. So, as we learn to do that, that's being the actual source of attraction. Mm. All other things that we attract, you will see what happens, that the attraction for that other thing goes away, and then something else captures our attraction. Many of you can think, as very little children, you wanted all those ordinary things of play. Mm. It is, and then you are so engrossed in those things that you plague with. But after a little time, they lose the attraction. But that aphorism had come earlier. Let me tell you that, and that it is how is the devotion, the love to God, pratikshana, pravardhamana. That bhakti, is goes on increasing. That is a very important difference with ordinary love. In ordinary love, it gradually wanes away, only the bondage remains. The love is not there. Like one may say, I love my son. There is the bondage of it. There is some, maybe the feeling of well being for the son, or a sense of duty may be there, but the love uh, goes away. It is, with everything, it is like that, except one. And that is why that is the real source of attraction, real source of love, ah, where the love will go on increasing. When we get caught in the, this love of God, it may be very little in the beginning, but then it goes on increasing, enveloping our whole being in unspeakable bliss. It is, with the other worldly things, it is exactly opposite. One of my teachers gave a nice example. I might have told you earlier, but those examples have been so helpful to me and so dear to me. So let me tell it to you again. He said, come on, if you throw a ball up, now it is going up and up and up, but if you observe, its speed is decreasing. It is not going with the same speed now. The speed is getting reduced because of the gravity, the pull of gravity. So, although it is going up, still the speed is becoming less and less. At one point, it's going up will stop. It is not going up anymore. And then it starts again falling down. And again, if you observe what happens, the speed with which it is falling down keeps on increasing because it is going to the actual source of attraction. So, this is when we throw our mind to other things, then they feel attractive for a time and then the attraction goes away. So, but when you give it to God, you will see that it improves, it becomes more and more intense. So, this is how Narada says, Avyavritta Bhajanat, that regularly, constantly, one has to keep up the practice of bhajan. What is bhajan? Means either doing your mantra or singing the glories, all that, doing puja, worship, all that constitutes bhajan. Bhajan doesn't only mean here singing, but the practice of devotion, both have the bhakti and bhajan, both have actually come from the same root. So it is, and then this should continue. Lokepi, that is the next aphorism. Lokepi Bhagavad Gunashravana Kirtanat. What when, all right, when I'm sitting in shrine in the morning hours, I get up and then sit in the shrine and I offer my prayers, my meditation, my worship, all that I do. And then after, say, half an hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, I leave my seat and then start working with other people also. There is interaction, there are some business, these things, commitments, all that work begins now. mm, that it is even then lokepi, it is one is somehow acts like a devotee in a religious setting. Okay, but then when that person, say, is doing the job for earning money, very good, one has to do that. No, nothing wrong in that. But there also continue the inner meditation. Try to feel the presence of God there as well. Like, say, somebody is a doctor, so dealing with the patients, the staff at the office or in the hospital, feel that all that is really the expression of God. God is appearing in all these forms. So, the service, the spirit of service has to be inculcated there. And thus, we will be able to see that there also our practice of devotion continues. It is otherwise what happens. Another teacher of mine had told me very nice example that if you are going towards some place, and then if you move one step forward and two steps backwards, will you ever reach the destination? You will not. There is a nice joke and that I was told, very nice joke. A boy, and a very mischievous, naughty boy, used to go to school, and then he had to walk, say, about a mile or so to get to the school. And then used to go late always. And the teacher, therefore, used to trash him, scold him. Uh, One day it was raining hard, Everything, it was all muddy road. The road had become muddy. Walking was not so easy, understandable. And this fellow reached about 2 hours late to the school. And the teacher said, "What? Eh? You are coming 2 hours late?" Oh, it was raining, it was raining. Well, for everybody it was raining, not that the rain was specially falling on your head only. It was raining for everyone. All of us came on time. And you come a bit late every day. Today you came 2 hours late. What happened? He said, as I started walking, it became so muddy that my feet were stuck, getting stuck all the time there. Somehow I would pull my foot and take one step. Afterwards, I noticed that I am going one step forward and I am going two steps backwards. And the teacher said, "You fellow, you are trying to be too funny, eh? How can you reach here if you are going one step forward and two steps backward?" The child, although mischievous, was brilliant. He said, "I also thought like this I will not be able to reach the school. So let me go back home." You can see. So it is the idea is that we have to see that we should continue even when the circumstances are not they what are normally considered congenial to devotion. It is we have to keep up the practice even in the face of very irritating circumstances, uh, say at your school, at your work, at home. Uh, this it is wonderful, that this situation is not congenial. This congenial situation has some advantages, but friends, the circumstances which are adverse has more advantages. They teach us the patience, and they become really the testing situation, like in your school you have tests, and now you see how much have you really learned. Is known when you are put to test. So how much devotion have you developed will be put to test in circumstances that are adverse, very irritating circumstances. Maybe you have to deal with a person who is quarrelsome, very problematic, and so forth. But it is there that your devotion, how much practice of devotion you have been doing, gets tested there. So, if we are really feeling the devotion, mm, even in those circumstances, we shall be able to keep our devotional practices going on, feeling the presence of God all around. So, lokepi, even when one is in the midst of all different people, this practice has to keep on going. So, uh, and then it says, one has to remember though. Mm, and this has been told by Sri Ramakrishna also multiple times. Holy Mother also has told this. What is it? That the greatness, the glory, the tremendous efficacy of holy company. We all know that. That when in the holy company we see a tremendous force is, as it were, generated that is pushing us in the right direction. So it says the 30th aphorism, Mukhyatastu, the mainly, however, Mahat Kripaya eva Bhagavat Kripaleshadva. It is through the grace of the great souls or through a little grace of God. Mm. So that is very important. Our progress uh, takes a big start, that as we practice these other things and await that a drop of grace of God or from our guru or the saintly people around. So, uh, such great souls, when we associate with them, mm, by the force of their life, by the force of their devotion, it is very contagious, more contagious than this coronavirus. It is when you are in the company of a holy person, the atmosphere is so charged that you feel drawn, as it were, in that direction. Mm. It is, I have seen this many times, that many doubts and all that, and then, uh, but in the company of some great soul, well, just that company was enough to make the mind kind of calm down and move in the right direction. এটা সবাই এটা অনুভব করতে পারে যে যখন কোনো সন্তের সান্নিধ্যে, কোনো মহাপুরুষের সান্নিধ্যে আমরা যখন উপস্থিত হই, তো তখন কি হয়, আমাদের মন একটা অন্য দিশায় চলে যায়, ঠাকুরের দিশায় আপনা আপনি চলে যায়। তো এটা একটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট থিং। আর এই জন্য আমাদের সৎসঙ্গ খুব প্রয়োজনীয়। এটা যে আমরা মানে এখন যেমন আমরা এই নারদ মহামুনির সঙ্গে আছি, তার ভক্তি সূত্রের পাঠ করছি, ওর কাছ থেকে ভক্তি শিখছি। We are following this great soul Narada. Hmm. We are, as it were, in his company. He was a great devotee, and we are listening, trying to absorb the wonderful teachings of bhakti from Narada. It is as if he is telling us, it is as if Thakur, Holy Mother, then we are in their company, they are teaching. So when we read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we have to feel that we are sitting there in the company of Thakur. So now we feel the magnetic, as it were, attraction. It will have its effect. Suppose there is, Sri Ramakrishna used to give that example, that the ships in a particular sea area were told not to go on near an island. Why? Because it was a magnetic island there. There are a lot of magnetic properties to that land. It was full of iron, and so magnetism was there. So what would happen? All the nuts and bolts made of iron, they would just get attracted towards it, and at times the ship would then just get wrecked, because the nuts and bolts, and they get attracted and the ship sinks. So therefore, now those nuts and bolts made of iron, they have no choice they will get attracted by the magnet. So similarly, when we are around a holy person, then our mind will automatically get attracted there. So this is to be used by us for developing devotion. That is why let us attend the satsangas. That is why it gets called satsanga. Because there we feel the presence of a great soul, and thus our mind gets attracted there. So, this is what is mentioned here, and even a drop of that grace of God would be enough. So, this is how one gets it. And then that also the next aphorism beautifully says ah, that when you get it, then, and this is the 39th aphorism, that it is this satsanga, the holy company, uh, is unfailing. Mm. Its effect is assured effect. It doesn't fail at all. So that is mentioned. Mahatsangastu durgamo, durlabho. Durlabho, that is said, Mahatsangastu durlabho, agamyo, amoghascha. Mm. A very important thing, it says the company of holy persons is difficult to attain as well as difficult to understand and never fails to produce the result. Exactly, it is difficult to attain. Many say, आजकल के दिने এই সব সন্ত লোক কোথায় পাওয়া যায়? When these terribly turbulent situations in this world, full of all people just running after the money, where do you find these great holy people? So it is impossible. That is not the case. That is not the reason that it is durlabha or difficult to get. It is available. You have to look for it. It is there. Like certain things are available somewhere in the shop, but you have to look for it. It is not, may not be available on the streets, but if you look, you will find it. So it is available, but do we really seriously look for it? That is the question. So seriously, and with lot of intent and yearning to look for it, Sri Ramakrishna therefore gave lot of importance to this yearning, that we have to have yearning for it, that look for it. When you look with yearning, that yes, আমার ওটা চাই, আমার এটা খুব চাহিদা আছে, ওটা আমাকে বের করতেই হবে, it is, then you really, if you yearn for it, you will find it. Mm. Did I tell you that story? Probably yes. That incident, when I used to be in Nagpur, there was one Bengali devotee staying right across our center. And then he was buying fish from the shop. I said, well, where do you get fish? Nagpur is not known for fish. How can you get fish here? He said, well, you know, we are Bengalis. We love fish. And so we will find it out. Remember, a fish can survive without water, but a Bengali cannot survive without fish. And so there is that yearning, I mean, that it is. Of course, that was an exaggeration, but the idea is there. He said, because of our yearning, we will look around and find out. আমরা ঠিক খুঁজে বের করবো ওটা কোথায় পাওয়া যায়, We will search and find out where it is available. So, if we are looking for the holy company, then we will find it. Ah, it is important to, to look for it. So, it is durlabha, means difficult to get, because we look, search in the wrong places and with the wrong characteristics. It is like if you try to find the fish, just giving the same example, looking in the sky, where are they going? Well, the fish doesn't, there are birds there. Fish do not, you don't see them in the sky. And so you have to know what are the characteristics of this holy person, and then you will be able to identify them and find them. Then again, how they act, what is their mode of acting? He says agamya. It is not possible to actually see how that thing is acting in our life. There is the mechanism of action is not known. Some time back, I used to see, just to know that how this particular medicine acts. Even the very ordinary medicines, like aspirin, you take aspirin if you have headache, and then the pain goes away. And then you see, but that aspirin does actually? What is the connection between taking aspirin, and headache going away? How the action works? And it is written in books of that pharmacology. Mechanism of action unknown. We don't know how it acts. We take that medicine because of that it has worked for 100 years plus, it has been working, and so we take it. It works. How? We do not know how it works. So exactly how the holy company works, not easy to describe. Agamya, ununderstandable. But amoghascha, unfailing. It has the tremendous capacity to transform our minds and bring it on the uh, dynamic path of devotion. So, this is, and then it is said that also you get labhyate to tat kripaya eva. To get that also, one requires grace. It is important that you don't, because why it is told, actually you don't find it on by your efforts. It's grace. You make efforts because you have the yearning, you will keep on making efforts. That is a must. That is the indicative of your yearning, that's all. But you get it because that is there. You didn't make it. You get it by its own, its grace. It is like the example I was giving. Take the same, that it is, you will are looking for the fish, where to buy, yearning for fish. But why did you get it? Mainly because the fish is there. If the fish had not been there, and then what would you do? So it is important that it is to know that because of that grace, it is, you get it by grace. It is the grace. Once, this is a very illuminating that illustration. Swami Shivananda Mahapurush Maharaj, some devotee told him that he will take initiation, and uh, Mahapurush Maharaj, Swami Shivananji said, hey, don't say that. It is, one gets it. One cannot take it. One gets it. It is matter of grace. It is not your snatching something. It is your getting by the grace. It is such an important idea, that we get it as a matter of grace. So this needs to be understood and ingrained in our awareness, that we get it because of the grace showered by the Lord. Actually, tomorrow my lecture here is therefore on this topic. It is matter of grace. And so it is said that, okay, also remember that there is no difference between these holy people and God. They are same. Because what is a person? The awareness, the association. So you God and the associates, the representatives of God. These holy people are like representatives of God. Tasmin tajjane bheda bhavat, a very important aphorism, that these saintly people, they and God, they are alike, they are same. So therefore, you know, their showering grace is same as God's showering grace. So we should receive that. Tasmin tajjane bheda bhava. There is no distinction between them, God and the devotees of God, because they have the great souls. They have become unified with God, and they have attained to that union with the divine. There is now no distinction between them. Tasmin tajjane bheda bhavat. No distinction between them. And therefore he says, tadeva sadhyatam, tadeva sadhyatam. To emphasize, he says that alone, therefore, is to be sought for the holy company. That yes, look for that. The holy company means all company is holy. If we can extract the holiness or God in that. But there are, it is easy when you have some person who is tremendously devoted to God, and therefore it is easy to get it from there. Hmm. Maybe it is possible to get water from, it is by digging somewhere very rocky place, and then after digging a lot you may get water, may not, who knows if there is water there or not. But if you see a stream of nice pure water flowing by your side, then it is easy to get it like that. So, similarly, to get the devotion from these great souls by just getting into contact with them is easy. It is, as we saw, it is tremendously contagious thing. That when you are in the company of that, you will get that transformation. And therefore, Tadeva, this is a very emphatic aphorism. Tadeva sadhyatam, Tadeva sadhyatam. In aphorisms, they are very pithy, very brief. They don't contain repetitions. But here it is repetition to show the tremendous emphasis that Narada wants to lay on this. Tadeva sadhyatam, that alone is to be sought after. This holy company, association with holy people. As we look for that, we get it, and that, that transforms our life. And these are some of the means that we saw. It is that we have to, starting from, tattu vishaya tyagat sangat tyagacha. That is the first thing we saw, that it is, the first thing, don't do the things which will take you in the wrong path. Stop doing that. If you are habituated to do that, okay, try to wean your mind from that by various processes. There are ways and means if you want. There is the help available, as that help is told later here, holy company. And that will wean you away from these wrong things that one is habituated to keep on doing, like the addictions, say alcohol or whatever, And now, how do you take it, get away from it? Well, there are ways, isolation, then cultivating something, good habits. There's a very nice, this, you have to take help of somebody. Usually, people think that I don't need anybody's help. But no, mm, taking somebody's help, surrendering to the divine power, all these things are given, in that nice book, AA, Alcoholic Anonymous. That is, so this is also a terrible addiction, the attraction towards all the wrong things. But one can wean away the mind from that. And then you see the other things, that avyavritta bhajanat, that keep on the practice regularly, devotionally, and more intensity has to be added into that every time. So do it. Do not give excuses. No, today I had a headache, or today, my mother-in-law was scolding me, my mind got away. All those, don't give excuses. Oh, there were so many guests today. No, without excuse. My guru told me, that it is me, means we were so many people there. And then he was telling that, somebody asked, but how can we do meditation when there are so many guests at home? So he retorted back, when there are guests at home, then do you stop eating? Oh, do you say, oh, there are guests at home, I won't be eating today? No, in fact, because guests are there, you make a few more delicacies. So, exactly like that. Do not give these excuses. It is, yes, the guests are there. In fact, if you practice devotion, that will help even the guests to get an idea, and you will be giving them holy company of yours if you practice that. Think of that, It is, so it has to be done regularly. Also, one has to practice it, that in all circumstances, that lokavat, it is lokepi bhagavad gunashravana kirtana. Even when you are at your work, dealing with other people, interacting with things, very busy, focused in your work, still this is to be remembered there as well, that I have to hold on to God. That is, in all these circumstances, even when the circumstances are not at all congenial, irritating circumstances, but take up that as a challenge, and you will be able to do that too. It is, yeah. So, friends, I have discussed these ideas for quite some time now. And with the grace of God, with the grace of Thakur Ma Swamiji, this is a wonderful subject that we should keep on thinking about it. And I will be very happy if you have any questions or comments, um, because many find somewhat uncomfortable to type the questions. If you want to orally ask, please give me a call at 401 421 3960. I have kept this phone right in front with me. So if you call, I will pick it up. Are there these typed questions? Please come on, come on. Live chat. David, thank you, Maharaj. Uh, yeah, Srima Vidya Niketan, yeah. Uh, let me see, there are quite a few people there. So, uh, it is in the beginning. Uh, that is 7:55. Okay, yeah, here it is not showing times, but anyway. So is it the what attachment? Association with holy people? Okay, okay. Yes, it is attachment. Mhm. It is attachment. So we have to get rid of it. It is, I read a nice joke in a monastery, a Buddhist monastery, and very strict rules were there for your behavior. And one novice asks the chief there, uh, are we allowed to use emails? And then the Swami there that said, oh, sure, but without attachments. So it is, yes, these attachments are terrible. All these spam emails, if you don't open the attachment, you are safe. Uh, but if you open the attachment, you get grabbed. So in the world also, if you just deal without getting attached, then you are safe. But if you get involved, attached, then very difficult. So, if we are already attached, what should we be doing? Wean out from that attachment. Hmm. We are, as in Maya, we are all there, so we develop attachments. But then, therefore, develop attachment with God, and then this attachment with the other things, they will, go away, because that is the antidote. Attachment to God becomes antidote to other attachments. Yes. Any other question? Well, that is also that how can I develop devotion? We were discussing that, these are the means that have to be followed. First, remembering that I already have devotion to some extent. It is usually the question of enhancing it and giving it the right direction. That's all. It is like if you have to go somewhere uh, and you may have the car already, but that car is to be driven in the right way, in the right direction, to the up to the destination. So then you see you will get there. So we have the capacity to love, but that car is there, but going in the wrong direction here, there, and so it will not take us to the destination. If we are going in the right direction, following the directions given by Guru, Guru means the actually that is the GPS. Guru positioning system. Our life car can be directed like that, and then we see, and we will uh, intensify our devotion. Our bhakti will be intensified, and that is how it is to be done, Vishwajit.
Next question from Vishika Redhi. How do you determine whether what you are offering to God is morally correct since the term good is relative?
Oh wow, that is a big philosophical question, Rishita. That it is, yeah, it is. If you are offering to God, first of all, when you know that you have to offer it to God, and then you will not do an immoral act. It should be ethically. You will be conscientiously. You will be doing it. The good and bad, these are relative terms, agreed. But if your conscience certifies it as good, if your conscience is telling it as good, then it is good for you. Hmm. So, knowing that, for somebody else it could be bad. Uh, One should not impose that on others. But if your conscience says that that is the right thing, that is the good thing, you do it and offer it to God. So whatever you offer, even if something that is not, we do many things which our conscience also tells no, they are not good. But even those can be offered to God. God, I made these mistakes, and I am offering these also at your feet. Not that that doesn't mean we don't have to get the results of them. If we have done wrong things, suppose somebody steals something and says, "Oh Lord, this wrong action is I did. I am offering it at your feet." That doesn't mean that person will not get caught and will not get brought to justice, will not have to serve prison term. All those things are there. But if you offer it to God, then the psychological bondage of it will go, and then you will not do something that is morally wrong. Gradually, your conscience will become more strong, and thus you will not perform things which are bad, intentionally bad, intentionally directed at hurting others. That is what is morally wrong. It is all relative, but the intention becomes important. If you are doing it to hurt somebody, then it is wrong, immoral. If you are doing something to help somebody, it is good. To do good to somebody, it may or may not actually do good to that person, but your intention counts there. You did it for the purpose of doing good to that person, and thus it is very helpful. It is, you can certainly offer that anything to God, and then feeling the connection of God will gradually make you strong in your moral decisions. It is like there are so many examples that people who were not very good people, but by association with God, they were offering everything to God. There is this story in Bhagavatam that the snake, the big snake, Kaliya, now uh, he, as the Lord, little Krishna, was dancing on the thousand hoods of that Kalia. And then Kalia was oozing out the poison. And he said to Lord, well, that is what you have given to me. You have given me the poison, so I am offering the poison to you. So, if even we are doing wrong things, sure, Rishita, offer them to God. If you know that it is wrong, then try to hold on to your conscience so that you will not do wrong things and you don't have to then offer wrong things, bad things to God. Thank you. Anything?
There are three more questions. Charlie asked, I came upon these ideas only late in life. How do I develop faith in ideas that I'm not used to?
Oh, well, it is better late than never, dear Charlie. And there are many things, which get a late start but grow fast. Uh, that is, we in the garden we have the sunflower plants. Now the sunflower, as they come from the seed, it is actually not even visible. The other things, they seem to be growing fast. The sunflower, it takes a start much later. But then once it takes the start, now the growth is very fast. They are, progressing to peak. The other things, they had an early start, but then they are dwarf now in front of this sunflower. It is becoming growing big and big. So, whenever one has a start, that doesn't matter whether early or late. How who is to decide? You didn't have a late start in life at all. That is when your life actually begins. Uh, so don't worry about that. You can still grow fast. Certain things that you didn't have choice about, don't, as they say, don't waste time over spilt milk. That is already gone. Don't worry about it. Why did I not start early? Now you are wasting more time. Mm. So, whenever the start is, do it. I also had a late start. Compared to many people that I know. Compared to them, I too had a late start. But do I keep on worrying about it? No. Mm. I should not. So exactly like that, Charlie. Don't pay any attention to that. That, well, I had a late start. Don't worry. You will still reach. Maybe somebody will reach ahead of you. Who cares? Let them reach ahead. Ah, and maybe you will overtake them. Who knows? So don't worry about it.
From Sucheta Khule, if holy people are like God, then is not attachment to holy people same as attachment with God?
It depends. Very good question, Sucheta. It depends on whether you are attached to holy people for the holiness or just as another person. The two things could be different. The holiness should be in your awareness that it is, yes, that person is holy and you are attached to the holiness. If you are attached to just the body, the physical, that proximity, then uh, it is difficult. That the holy company, then that may not be a holy company. So one has to be, taking the holiness out of that holy person. You should be loving the holy person. Uh, yeah, it is no different from God, sure. But one should be able to snatch the holiness from there. And then it is a great thing. Yeah.
Next question is from Malati Biswas. Pranam Guruji, this is Unmesh. Why do we feel devotion sometimes but not other times?
Yeah. And this is how our mind works. Very good idea, Unmesh. Yeah, it is. Sometimes you feel devotion, sometimes you don't. It is the mind always is wavy. It is. But you have to see in general, the trend is towards the increasing of the devotion. That general trend has to be seen. It is, there will be ups and downs a bit, but like I had that terrible sciatica pains. Now by the hard that treatment from the various doctors and mainly a chiropractor, I have got lot of relief. But I used to tell the chiropractor that, oh, yesterday, I felt better after the treatment. Today, I am not feeling. So he would tell this, that it is never, the progress is never in a straight line. There are ups and downs. Sometimes you go up, down, or sometimes you go down, sometimes you go up. Even my many teachers in spiritual life, they also mentioned that even the spiritual progress is not like a straight line going up and up and up. No, uh, there it is like a wave, goes up, goes down, like that. So do not get too worried about it. Some, when you feel devotion, practice it. uh, Even when you don't feel devotion, try to be aware that I am not feeling devotion. That also is a kind of feeling devotion, you see. Hmm? So, uh, gradually, the mind will settle more and more towards devotion and less towards non devotion. Surely that will happen.
Two more questions came.
Yeah.
One is from Chris Bhagavata. Pranam Swamiji, I got here late, so forgive me if you already talked about this. Does our attachment to the Lord's form bind us?
uh, Attachment to Lord or
Lord's form.
Lord's form depends again, whether you are attached to the form or to the God. It is the form is there, but what you are attached to. If you say are just attached to the form of the candy, you will miss eating the candy, because the eating the candy would mean destroying the form. Therefore, it is the worth of candy you will not get. So, although one should be, take help of the form, and but one should be able to take the formless divine principle from the form. Therefore, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, that which is formless is also with form, and vice versa. So, the idea is to love God, neither form nor formlessness. Both are the external characteristics. We should love God. Mm. Neither love form nor love formlessness. Both are characteristics or attributes. Love God, whether form or without form. For most of us, the form is a psychological, unavoidable necessity. We can feel only that God with form. And so with form becomes more efficacious in our life. But we should be aware that we have to take the godness and the bliss, the all pervading consciousness. And from that, and not just the form. That is how it works.
Two more
Yes.
questions. One from Sharath. How to do bhakti to God when you are praying to God?
While
Praying to God.
Oh, yes, when you are praying to God, the prayer means, that uh, you are offering your love to God through that prayer. Prayer is the means by which your love starts flowing towards God. And so your devotion increases through prayers. Prayer is a very, very forceful and very efficacious tool. In fact, for most people like us, the prayer is very important. We, of course, must be doing uh, japa and meditation. No doubt, we have to do that. But prayer is easy to do. The mind can be more easily put in prayer. It is like meditation. For most of us, the mind keeps on wandering so much all around. Meditation doesn't happen much. Same with Japam also. It is, we do it and we should do it. But the prayer has a lot more efficacy to bind our mind and take to God. So even when we are doing Japam, our repeating the mantra, let us do it prayerfully. And thus it also becomes efficacious. Its efficacy, its power, its usefulness increases. So prayer is very important. So by prayer you will see, as you go deeper and deeper in prayer, the bhakti keeps on increasing. Yeah.
So last question, Ritu Thar, Pranam Swamiji, thank you so much for
Pranam.
your wonderful talk. My question is, how do we channel our bhakti? How do we transfer our devotion from worldly matters to God?
That is what we were discussing actually. How to transfer our love from the worldly matters. There are these two things told by Bhagavad Gita, and in other scriptures also. Sri Ramakrishna told about it many times, that look at the nature of these worldly attractions. What do they give me? They only give me trouble. It is a torture. Like the worldly enjoyment. What do you get, Ritu? Sri Ramakrishna said, je ita uh, je amda, that fruit amda. কি আছে তার মধ্যে? It is আঠিয়ার চামড়া. আমড়া, আঠিয়ার চামড়া. It is only a thick skin and a big pit. And that is that fruit. আবার বেশি খেলে আমলশুল. In between there is some, some meat there, very little. And that also when you eat, you get stomach colic. So do you really want it? Look at that. So these enjoyments of life are like that. You run after them. What do? You just spend your own energies and think of it as enjoyment. You, as Nachiketa said, what happens by running after them? Sarvendriyanam jarayanti teja. Very powerful words. Indriyanam teja jarayanti. All the vitality in your organs that gets diminished through this kind of enjoyment. Do we want that? Ponder over it. No, I don't want that. Hmm. One of my friends, he discovered that if he eats chili, then he gets that acidity problem, stomach issues. So, what did he do? He saw the connection between eating chili and the pain in the stomach. Now, do you want the pain in the stomach? No, then don't eat chili. So, if do you want bondage, sufferings, worries, and anxieties in life, then go to those enjoyments. If you don't want them, then don't go. So, highlight the problems that you get into by going to that, as Bhagavad Gita says, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanudarshanam. See the faults in those. And then when you see what a terrible situation you get into by going for that, then you will refrain from that. You won't do it because that is what causes problem for you. But we have to remember that what happens is our mind gets clouded, and we forget that these things gave me trouble last time. Somehow you tell yourself, this time I will not get into trouble. This time I will get just the enjoyment and not the trouble. This cannot happen. So one has to have some steadfastness in rejecting it. It is very difficult for me giving the example of the chili. Of course, fortunately, I don't get stomach ache either. But suppose, imagine, by eating chili, I develop stomach ache. Then, because I love chilies, I will try to, no, it's not chili, it might be something else. Uh, but and even if my brain tells me no, it was chili, still I will somehow, okay, just a few will not matter, my maybe too many were not good. I try to justify my behavior because of attachments. So we have to be very clear that if these attractions, they make my life miserable, do I want that? No. Then don't do it. Very simple. Hmm. And then if you pray to Lord, you feel that nobleness inside, the joy inside. You feel the devotion. So whatever benefits you, you take it. Do it. Taking this medicine makes you feel uh, much better. Your disease goes away, and your strength comes back. So you take it. So exactly by taking in devotion, you become more joyous. Got it? You become more free, more joyous. Your working capacity increases, your efficiency increases, your peace increases. So nobody is such a fool, thus not to do that which benefits and keep on doing, and that keeps on hurting. So that is the way.
There's one more question from Charles.
Hmm?
Charles. Charles.
Oh, Charlie, it is getting late. So we will talk about your question later. You can ask it at the service tomorrow. So we shall conclude. My heartfelt thanks to you all who attended. My heartfelt thanks to our Ratan who arranged all this. Thank you, Ratan. And let us conclude by prayers to Holy Mother, with whose blessings we will be able to move forward in our life. May she shower her grace on us. जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।